If you're new here, welcome to my channel. And if you have watched my channel before, welcome back. I really do appreciate the time that you guys take to watch my content. So my name is Tanya, and I make little videos on budgeting, meal prep, decluttering, all that kind of stuff. And I throw in little tips and tricks that I'm learning along the way. I started this channel really to hold myself accountable for my own budget, but I hope that this channel inspires you to either stick with or start your own budget journey. I upload videos 2 times a week. I upload shorts 3 times a week, and I post on the community page 1 time a week. If you ever have any questions or ideas for videos, just leave them in the comments. I will get back to you. But for now, let's get into today's video.
I just got home from work, still in my scrubs and my headband from this morning. Yeah, I wanted to come on here and talk to you about the I'm feeling okay, but this is the time of year I told you it's always hardest for me for my allergies. September, October is just horrible for my allergies. I'm just not feeling the greatest. So, I don't feel horrible. It's just, the whole scratchy throat thing, just enough to make you go, what is it? Type of a thing. So I've got my water here. And then I've got, this has nothing to do with my scratchy throat. It's just my little guilty pleasure just to make myself feel better. And I probably should have thought this through before I turned on my camera to film. But I was like, oh, I'm just sitting out here sitting on my porch swing. And I probably shouldn't be out here on my porch swing either. If it's my allergies, truth be told. But, I don't figure there's going to be that many more opportunities for me to sit out here. Because, honestly, oh, hold on a second, because my dog just let herself in the door and you can hear my TV. So give me just a second. Anyway, I probably shouldn't be out here on my porch swing anyway because of all the allergies for this time of year. But anyway, I figured I probably wouldn't have that much longer because it seems like every year we get like a little tiny cold snap come through in September. Like, I don't know, maybe the beginning of September, the middle of September, and everyone gets excited and they're like, oh, it's fall's here, and it's pumpkin everything, and then it gets warm again. And then we end up getting, oh, there, I did it again, sorry, I cleared my throat again. And then we get warm weather again. And then everyone's like, Indian summer, it's an Indian summer. And then it stays that way until Halloween, when all the kids go out and go trick-or-treating. And then everyone's like, it's so cold, dress your kids warm. And I feel like it does that every single year. And then that's when it turns cold and it stays cold. So we're getting really close to trick-or-treat. So I figure there's not going to be that many more days that I can sit out here and enjoy my porch swing, which is really kind of sad because I've been enjoying doing my Saturday videos out here. I remember the first time I did my Saturday video, I was like, oh, this is weird being out here on the porch swing. But I really, I've enjoyed being out here and doing them out here on the porch swing. And now I'm like, what am I going to do now? Where am I going to go? And do my Saturday videos. But anyway, that was a bunch of rambling. Okay, let me take a drink. And then I will tell you what I'm supposed to be talking about in this Saturday video. Okay. So, in today's video, I wanted to talk to you guys about my bills. I told you how, I was going to tell you guys about how about this time of every year, I look at my bills, and I like to actually look at the beginning of the year and see what my bills were compared to what they are now. Because 90% of the time, if I look back and compare the two, every single bill has went up. in some way, shape, or form. Rather, it's just, sorry, I had to turn around a little bit and clear my throat. Anyway, rather it's like a service charge, an additional fee they've added on, rather it's taxes, whatever it is, it has went up in some way, shape, or form. So I always like to look at that, and then I start calling my bills and saying, hey, I've noticed that my bill has went up. Sometimes it's just like a little bit, a few, a couple dollars here and there. Sometimes it's drastically. Sometimes it's more than $20 a month that it has went up. And I'm really nice. I don't get excited. 90% of the time, if I just get on there and say, hey, my bill has went up, I don't know why, could you go over it with me? I've got to figure out a way to cut this bill. I just can't afford this. 90% of the time, they will cut it. They will figure out, one of two things happen. Well, one of three things happens. Either they say, I'm sorry, we can't cut the bill. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Or they will say, I am so sorry, let me give you this discount. And it's usually either for 3, 6, 9, or 12 months. Usually it's between 6 and 12 months. Or they will say, we cannot cut this bill, but here's the options. You can cut back your service so that you can get a lower bill. Those are the three things that usually happens. So then I'm prepared, like while I'm on the phone with them, to do one of those three things. So very rarely have I actually had any of my bills, and I do this every year, so they probably have it on record. Okay, here's the lady I knew she was going to be calling this time of year, if they like keep any records. Oh, here she goes. Yep, at the same time every year. But rarely have I ever had any of them say that they could not help me and try to figure out. Most of them are very nice and very helpful. So that's just my little tip and trick of what I do. Like I said, most of them are very nice and willing to help. Now, let's talk about, I want to talk about the two bills that I'm really struggling with as far as my budget. No judgments, right? No judgments. You guys are always very supportive, but I'm sorry, I feel like I'm a hot mess, but I'm really just, I'm not feeling bad and sick. I'm just not feeling the greatest either. Kind of like that blah. I'm just feeling kind of blah. That's how I'm feeling, and I feel like I'm showing it too. I thought all day I was doing really good hiding it, but towards the end of the day, I felt like people could see that I was struggling. But anyway, where was I going? See, okay, no judgment. You guys are not going to judge me. So I'm going to go over the first one this week, and then my next one next week, because I got to work up the courage to tell you about the one next week, because that bill's even higher than this bill. So I have two bills, and they are extremely high, and if I had to guess, I would say that they are, if not half, they are almost half of all my bills put together. So this one is okay, let me just explain. We live way out in the country, like way out in the country. And hold on. Let me think about how I want to say this. Here's the thing. We live way out in the country, and we have dish. We've always had to have some sort of satellite. Now, we also do not have, we have to have this, I'm going to say this, but then it's going to be like so confusing. So we've always had to have dish or some sort of satellite. We've also always had to have the Wi-Fi that comes with that. Like, we have Dish right now, and then we have to have the Dish satellite because nothing else comes out. My mom and my dad tried HughesNet, but it didn't work out here. Okay, so they tried so they tried T-Mobile when T-Mobile came out with their Wi-Fi, their little box, the $50 box. So it worked for them. And you know, guys know we live like right beside of each other. So T-Mobile worked for them. So we thought, okay, great. That works well. So I went and got T-Mobile internet box. Brought it home, and it did not work for me. But I'm like, but we live right next door. So that makes no sense to me. So I took it back and I told them, and you know what their question was? They said, do you live up against a hill? And I said, well, yes, but my mom and dad live right next door. And they said, yes, but do you live up against a hill? And I said, well, yes, I live closer, like I'm right up against the hill and they are not. Like, they have space, they can move. They can pull probably a car or two up against, like, in between their trailer and the hill, whereas I'm like, I can't even barely walk against, you know, put my body against between the trailer and the hill compared to their two vehicles. And they said that's why. They said we are having a lot of people bring their box back because they live right up against the hill and it won't work. I was like, okay, great. So there goes that option for my Wi-Fi. So I'm back to Dish, and I have to have their Dish and I have to have their Wi-Fi. So I'm like, okay, now what? Now what's our option? Because now that mom and dad has their T-Mobile, they were able to cancel their satellite and their streaming things, right? They are able to do that. They're able to get rid of their Dish, which is saving them some money. So now I'm like, now I don't know, I've heard that T-Mobile has like a, what's it called? I'm trying to think of what the name is. What's it called? Booster. That they have a booster. So I'm like, okay. So now my thing is, I'm wondering, sorry, this whole time, like, my handheld tripod was like wobbly, and I felt like I was like a bobblehead, and come to find out it was getting ready to break and fall off, and I just had to tighten it a little bit. So anyway, so I found out, you know, T-Mobile has this booster now. So I'm thinking, okay, so do I go and try again with their box and a booster? And I'm thinking, how does the booster work? See, I got to look into all this. This is why I start working on my calling my bills and things now, because I need to go and talk to them at the T-Mobile store. Because if I can do that, see, I need to find out, because if I can do that, I can put my T-Mobile box over at my mom and dad's house. And then I need to find out, do I put the booster box over at mom and dad's so it boosts the signal to my house? Or do I put the booster box at my house to make the signal boost more to my, I don't know. I don't know how that works. Because I can, no, you see, I don't know. I'm just talking out loud. Because I can get mom and dad's signal at my house. Hold on, my mom and dad's coming up the hill. Anyway, I can get my signal. I can get their signal. I can get like one little bar of their signal in my living room. So, like, do I need to get a booster in my house and put my own internet box at their house where it actually can work and just give me the booster box? You see what I'm saying? I don't know. Is that making any sense whatsoever? Because if I can do that, then I can get rid of this huge bill that I have that has my cable and my internet on my dish together. I don't know. Because I need to go talk to T-Mobile and find out, because I've been told that the T-Mobile box, the internet is $50 and the booster box is $25. I am paying like $110 just for my internet. And it's not got that much internet. Like, we use our internet within, I want to say 10 days of it renewing. So that would save me like $25 to $35 just on the internet. And then I have questions. Like, I need to research this. Maybe you guys can help me out. Does anybody have the T-Mobile internet? How does that work? Do you have the booster box? Comment below and let me know. Because, and then my husband, like, how does the streaming services work? Because I don't have any of the streaming services. I don't think my mom and dad do either. I don't know what they have, but how do they work? Because my husband is a creature of habit. If you're listening, honey, I know you listen to my videos, and you know that I'm telling you the truth. You know I'm telling these people the truth. So he has certain news shows that he likes to watch, and certain things that he likes to watch. Will he still be able to do that? Like the live broadcast and things? Do I need to get a certain streaming service? Like, how does that work? Because I would be new to this, and I don't have any idea how that works. Because, like I said, we've always had satellite. So, like, what about our local channels? What kind of streaming service, or is that even a thing that has the local channels or the news channels that he likes? Some of them are the national news channels that he likes. I'm not going to say which channels he likes to watch. Some of them are, just like the different satellite channels. Like, how do I find those on? Do they come on streaming channels? I don't know. Or streaming services. I don't know any of that. Because that's another huge bill that's combined with my internet bill that, I'm paying right now, honestly, for my satellite and my internet. I'm putting it out there. We pay like $250 a month for those two bills. I mean, it's combined into one bill, but I'm just saying, that's a lot. So if I could get my internet down, even with that booster, to $75, and then whatever streaming services, I don't know how much any of that costs, because again, I've never had them. I've never looked into them. I don't know how much any of that stuff is. But if I can get it down, even if I can save us $25 a month, that's $25 a month I'm saving, right? Like, and I don't know. So you guys, help a girl out. Give me some ideas and some options, because I don't know. I do know with the T-Mobile internet box, my mom and dad are on they each have a tablet, and they are on their tablets all the time. And then they both have phones, and they mainly use their phones for talking. And then they have their TV, and they watch their TV. And they watch movies, they watch, like, they do all that kind of stuff. And it never slows down. If it's storming or something, it might slow down. Like, if they don't have good, whatever that is. I want to say service. If they don't have good service because it's storming or something, it might slow down. But it doesn't slow down because they ran out of their gigabytes or whatever it is, like we have on our satellite service anyway. And they are on their tablets a lot, all the time. And like I said, they're watching movies all the time. So mainly my husband plays this one game on his State of Survival. If you know, you know. I don't play it, but he's on there all the time on that. And then we would be watching, like I said, shows on our TV. But I don't know. It's just something I got to think about and look into. So if you guys could point me in the right direction, like I said, I got 2 months. I just don't know. You know, change is hard. Change is hard, and it's scary. And so I don't know. I don't know if it'd be worth it. I don't know if it's possible with the whole T-Mobile thing and the internet, and I don't know. So anyway, comment below. Let me know, guys. Give me some feedback, please, because I need it. You guys have a great week.
That's all for today's video. Again, thank you so much for stopping by my channel. I really do appreciate it. As always, feel free to like, comment, and share my videos. And until next time, you guys stay safe and have a great day.